The blade stopped 3 centimeters from the child's throat. Commander Zalara's primary eyes tracked the human's arm, extended, trembling with controlled force, fingers locked around the assassin's wrist. The secondary attacker lay unconscious against the chamber wall, crimson blood mixing with violet on the polished floor. The human hadn't made a sound, hadn't called for backup, just moved. "Release the Corvathan," the assassin hissed, mandibles clicking. "This changes nothing." The human, Marcus Chen, diplomatic attaché, unremarkable in every briefing, said nothing. His grip tightened, bone cracked, the blade clattered to the floor. Zalara's hand moved to her plasma rifle, but protocol froze her. The heir, Princess Kiva, stood behind the human, her small form rigid with shock. Royal guards didn't move during assassination attempts unless the primary defender failed. The human was primary now, whether he understood it or not. "You'll die," the assassin snarled, reaching for a second weapon. Marcus stepped into the movement. His elbow struck the attacker's thorax with precision that spoke of training Zalara hadn't seen in his file. The assassin collapsed, gasping, toxic blood pooling beneath chitinous armor. The human turned. His eyes found Kiva first, then Zalara. "She safe?" Zalara's translator chip struggled with the inflection. Humans compressed entire questions into single words, emotion bleeding through syntax. She'd studied Earth languages for 2 cycles and still couldn't parse the layers. "The heir is unharmed." Zalara stepped forward, rifle lowered but ready. "You violated 12 protocols." Noted. Marcus knelt beside Kiva, maintaining distance the princess's guards would approve. "Your Highness, are you injured?" Kiva's crest fluttered, fear response, not yet controlled by royal training. She was 7 cycles old, barely past infancy by Corvathan standards. You moved so fast." Adrenaline. Marcus stood, positioning himself between Kiva and the downed assassins. "Commander, we need medical teams and security sweeps. This wasn't random." Zalara activated her comm. The human was right, though it grated to admit it. 2 Scalix assassins penetrating the diplomatic wing meant corruption at multiple levels. She'd suspected infiltration for months, but the council dismissed her reports. Humans were new to the galactic stage, barely a decade since first contact. Weak gravity worlders with fragile bodies and excessive emotion. Harmless. The file on Marcus Chen said, non-combat role, academic background, diplomatic track. No military service, no enhancement augmentations, no cybernetic implants. The human standing before her had killed a Scalix warrior, a species bred for assassination, with his bare hands. "You're bleeding," Kiva whispered. Marcus glanced at his arm. Scalix venom dripped from a shallow cut, flesh already swelling purple. "It's fine. Scalix venom kills Corvathans in minutes," Zalara said. "Humans? Don't know." Marcus swayed slightly. First time being poisoned by an alien. Zalara caught him before he fell. The human weighed almost nothing. Earth's gravity was barely a third of the Corvathan homeworld. She'd carried field packs heavier than his entire body. Yet he'd moved with a speed that defied his physiology, struck with force that shattered exoskeleton. "Medical Priority 1, Zalara barked into her comm. "Human envoy, Scalix envenomation. Protective detail formation required immediately." Kiva pressed against Zalara's leg, crest flat with distress. "Will he die?" "Unknown, Your Highness." Zalara lifted Marcus with one arm, rifle steady in the other. Human biology is unpredictable. The medical team arrived in 40 seconds. Too slow by Zalara's assessment, but faster than standard response. They surrounded Marcus with scanning equipment, their expressions cycling through confusion. "His immune system is attacking the venom," the lead medic reported. "Aggressively. I've never seen cellular response this rapid." "Will it work?" Zalara demanded. "The venom is losing. Commander, his white blood cell count is astronomical. His body temperature has increased 2 degrees in 30 seconds. This shouldn't be possible." Marcus opened his eyes. "Told you." "You nearly died," Kiva said, her voice carrying the harmonic undertones of royal command. Instinct, not training. The child didn't realize she'd done it. "Nearly doesn't count." Marcus sat up, ignoring the medic's protests. "Your Highness, where's your mother?" "The Queen is in the council chambers," Zalara answered, unreachable during deliberation. Someone just tried to kill her daughter during deliberation. Marcus stood, steadier now. "That's not coincidence," Zalara's combat computer agreed. Probability matrices scrolled across her vision. Assassination attempt synchronized with council isolation suggested coordinated attack. The air was bait. The Queen was the target. Protocol requires I secure the air first, Zalara said. Then do it. Marcus moved toward the door. I'll get the Queen. You have no clearance. Commander. Marcus turned, and Zalara saw something in his expression that translated across species barriers. Determination, the kind that started wars or ended them. How many guards does the Queen have in those chambers? 4. Weapons aren't permitted in deliberation. And how many Scalix does it take to kill an unarmed Corvathan? 1. The answer was 1. Scalix assassins were engineered for single-target elimination. The Queen would have 4 guards, but deliberation protocol required they maintain position unless directly attacked. By the time they moved, she'd be dead. I can't authorize this, Zalara said. You don't have to. Marcus checked the fallen assassin's weapons, selected a vibrational blade with practiced efficiency. I'm a diplomatic attaché. I can enter deliberation chambers on grounds of urgent intelligence. That's in your own protocols, Section 12, Subsection 4. He'd memorized their legal code. Zalara felt something shift in her assessment. Humans played weak, but they studied. They learned. They waited. If you're wrong, I'm not. Marcus moved to the door, paused. Kiva, stay with Commander Zalara. Don't leave her side. You're not my father, Kiva said, crest rising with childish defiance. No, but I'm the guy who just kept you alive, so work with me here. Zalara watched him disappear into the corridor. Her combat computer calculated his survival odds at 4%. Humans couldn't match Corvathan's strength, couldn't survive their atmospheric pressure extremes, couldn't process their toxic biochemistry. Weak gravity worlders from a garden planet barely classified as Tier 2 habitable. But Marcus Chen moved like something else, something that didn't match the files. Something that evolved on a planet the diplomatic corps called unremarkable. Commander? Kiva's voice pulled her back. Is he going to save my mother? Zalara activated her squad comm, called in reinforcements, initiated emergency protocols that would have her court-martialed if she was wrong. Yes, Your Highness, she said, meaning it. I believe he is. The council chambers erupted in weapons fire 20 seconds later. Zalara heard it through her neural link. Guards shouting, plasma discharge, something screaming. Then silence. Her comm crackled. Marcus's voice steady. Queen is secure. 3 Scalix down. Need clean up and a new shirt. This venom doesn't wash out. Kiva's crest fluttered. Relief pattern, pure and uncontrolled. Zalara stared at the comm unit. 4% odds. 3 assassins. 1 human. What are you? She whispered. The answer came 3 hours later after medical cleared Marcus and security swept the entire diplomatic wing. Zalara found him in the human quarters, reading tactical reports with Kiva curled against his side. The princess had refused to leave, invoking her right as heir to remain with her declared protector. The queen, recovering from her own near death, had allowed it. Commander. Marcus didn't look up. Kiva fell asleep about 10 minutes ago. Didn't want to move her. Zalara studied them. The massive Corvathan child, barely fitting in the human's lap. The human still bleeding through his bandages, reading with one hand while the other rested protectively on Kiva's shoulder. I accessed your real file, Zalara said quietly. Marcus's eyes finally met hers. And Earth. Gravity 0.98 standard. Atmospheric pressure at sea level 1.03. Temperature range suitable for liquid water. Classification, Garden World, Tier 2. Sounds right. You lied. We omitted. Marcus carefully closed his datapad. There's a difference. Your planet has 16 major tectonic plates in constant motion. Supervolcanoes. Magnetic field fluctuations that would sterilize most worlds. Cosmic radiation barely filtered by our atmosphere. Oxygen levels toxic to 60% of known species. We share our environment with microscopic organisms that have killed billions of us. Macroscopic predators that still hunt us in certain regions. Extreme weather systems. Natural disasters that reshape continents. Zalara felt her combat computer recalculating. Your diplomatic introduction classified Earth as unremarkable compared to what we've seen out here. Marcus smiled, tired and genuine. You have worlds that would crush us flat. Atmospheres that would dissolve our lungs. Radiation that would cook us in minutes. We're not special, Commander. We're just adapted. To what? Earth doesn't care if you're smart or strong or fast. It only cares if you can adapt. So we learned. We got good at it. Kiva shifted in her sleep, making a soft sound. Marcus adjusted his position without waking her. The Queen wants you as head of her security detail, Zalara said. I'm a diplomat. You killed 5 trained assassins in under 2 minutes. 3. The first 2 survived, and I'm still a diplomat. Marcus looked down at Kiva. But I'll take a consulting position. Someone needs to review your protocols. This shouldn't have been possible. Agreed. Zalara moved to leave, paused. The Skaliks you fought? They train for 20 cycles before deployment. Enhancement surgery. Genetic optimization. Chemical augmentation. You have none of that. No. So how did you win? Marcus was quiet for a moment, his hand gentle on Kiva's shoulder. Where I come from, Commander, everything is trying to kill you.
The weather?
The animals. The diseases. Sometimes even the plants. We don't have exoskeletons or venom or natural armor. We just have big brains and opposable thumbs, and this really, really stubborn refusal to die. That's all? That's everything. He smiled again, softer this time. We're not the strongest or the fastest. We're just the ones who don't quit. And when you threaten something we've decided to protect, his eyes hardened, we become the most dangerous thing in the room. Every time. Zalara left him there, the weak human holding the sleeping heir. Her combat computer ran new simulations, factoring in revised parameters. Humans. Garden world origin, minimal natural defenses, no apparent advantages, but Earth wasn't unremarkable. It was a death world wearing camouflage, and humans were apex predators pretending to be prey. She'd thought he was weak until a human defended the alien queen's heir. Now she knew better. Humanity wasn't weak. They were patient. Strategic. Waiting to see what the galaxy really was before showing what they really were, and she suspected they'd barely started. The door chimed. Queen Ashara entered without ceremony, her crest fully extended, battle readiness, though the threat had passed. She was massive, even by Corvathan standards, with ceremonial scars running along her arms and wisdom markings etched into her exoskeleton. Her eyes found Marcus and Kiva immediately. He refuses to leave her, Zalara reported. Good. The Queen approached slowly, careful not to wake her daughter. Tell me, Commander, what did your analysis conclude? Zalara hesitated. Royal inquiries demanded complete honesty, but the truth felt dangerous. The attack was coordinated by elements within the Council. 4 members confirmed compromised. The Skaliks were hired through intermediaries traced to the Vrexian Dominion. They wanted to destabilize the succession, create chaos during the treaty negotiations. The Humans' Treaty. Yes, Your Majesty. Queen Ashara studied Marcus with an intensity that made Zalara's combat instincts flare. And what does your analysis say about him? That our initial assessment was catastrophically wrong. Zalara pulled up the revised data. Humans evolved on a Class 9 death world masquerading as a garden planet. They have no natural weapons, no armor, no enhanced senses, but their adaptability index exceeds anything in our databases. Their endurance capabilities are off-scale. Their pain tolerance suggests either natural analgesic production or extreme psychological conditioning. They heal from injuries that would cripple other species, and their aggression response when protecting others is unprecedented, the Queen finished. I know, I felt it. Marcus shifted slightly, unconsciously adjusting to support Kiva's weight. The movement was protective, instinctive. He didn't wake. He killed for my daughter without hesitation, the Queen said softly. No calculation, no political consideration, just action. Do you know how rare that is, Commander? In all my cycles, across all the species I've encountered, I've never seen someone move that fast to protect what wasn't theirs. Humans form pack bonds rapidly, Zalara offered. Their psychological profiles suggest strong protective instincts toward young, regardless of species. It's more than instinct. The Queen knelt, bringing herself level with the sleeping pair. When I was in those chambers, when the Skaliks appeared, I thought of Kiva. My last thought was going to be of my daughter. Alone. Then I heard something I didn't understand. A human word, shouted in our language, but with their inflection. Do you know what it means, Commander? No. Negative response, refusal, context matters. He wasn't refusing a request. He was refusing reality itself. Refusing to accept my death, Kiva's danger, the situation's outcome. Humans don't just fight to survive. They fight to change what seems inevitable. They look at certain death and say no like the universe has to listen. Zalara checked the security footage again, watched Marcus appear in the council chamber doorway, assess the situation in microseconds, and move. 3 Scalix assassins positioned perfectly, weapons ready. Marcus had a vibrational blade he'd taken from a corpse and knew how to use for maybe 20 minutes. The odds were mathematically impossible. He'd won anyway. The treaty negotiations, Zalara said carefully. Some council members opposed humanity's inclusion in the Galactic Union. They said humans were too primitive, too emotional, too unpredictable. They were afraid. The Queen stood, her crest settling into contemplative position. They saw the data we all saw, and reached the right conclusion for the wrong reasons. Humans are dangerous. Not because they're primitive, but because they're deceptive. They show you weakness while hiding strength. They're patient while we're arrogant, and they learn faster than any species should. What do you want me to do, Your Majesty? The treaty passes. Full membership, accelerated integration. I'm assigning human security consultants to every royal facility, and Marcus Chen specifically remains with Kiva until further notice. He's a diplomat. He's whatever we need him to be. And right now, we need someone my daughter trusts absolutely. The Queen touched Kiva's crest gently, her own daughter's presence clearly a relief after the day's events. When she wakes, she'll have questions. About the attack? About mortality? About trust. I want him here to answer them. Because somehow, this human from a death world we didn't recognize has earned something I couldn't give her, the certainty that someone will always move first to protect her. Zalara understood. Royal children grew up surrounded by guards, but guards followed protocol. Marcus had abandoned protocol the instant Kiva was threatened. That kind of loyalty couldn't be bought or commanded. It simply existed, or it didn't. I'll adjust the security rotations, Zalara said. And your personal assessment of humanity? Zalara looked at Marcus again. He'd started snoring softly, completely unaware of the royal conversation happening around him. Exhausted, poisoned, injured, and sleeping like he was safe. Because he was. Zalara's entire security detail surrounded the building. He'd earned that safety. Humanity should never have survived first contact, Zalara said. They barely had FTL capability, no weapons that could threaten a galactic power, no resources we couldn't obtain elsewhere. By every strategic assessment, they should have become a client species or been absorbed into a larger empire. Instead, they negotiated a treaty, established trade relationships, and positioned themselves as valuable allies. We thought they were lucky. But they weren't lucky. They were strategic. They studied us while we dismissed them, learned our weaknesses while we cataloged theirs. And when the moment came, when they had to prove their value, they did exactly what they've always done. They adapted. They survived. They protected what mattered. The Queen's crest fluttered with amusement. You're afraid of them.
I'm respectful of them.
There's a difference. Zalara pulled up Earth's historical data information freely available but rarely reviewed. Your Majesty, humans went from primitive tool use to spaceflight in less than 300 cycles. They survived 2 global conflicts that nearly destroyed their species. They've eliminated diseases, reshaped their planet, and built civilizations on every continent. And they did all of it while fighting each other. Imagine what they'll do now that they're unified, now that they have common cause. You think they'll surpass us? I think they already have. We just haven't noticed yet. Queen Ashara considered this, her eyes distant. The Council believed humanity's inclusion would strengthen our position against the Vrexian Dominion. Buffer species, military fodder, expendable allies. They're going to be very disappointed. Yes. The Queen smiled, sharp and political. They are. And I'm going to enjoy watching their faces when they realize what we've actually done. We haven't gained a client species. We've allied with something that will reshape the entire galactic order, possibly within my lifetime. Kiva stirred, her eyes opening slowly. She saw her mother first, then Marcus, then registered the situation. Mother? I'm here, little one. Marcus saved you. He did. Kiva looked up at Marcus, who'd woken at her movement but stayed quiet. You're really fast for a human. Not really, Marcus said. I'm pretty average, actually. Maybe a bit slow compared to some. But you killed the Scalix. I stopped them. There's difference. Is there? Kiva's crest fluttered with curiosity. The child was processing trauma through questions, healthy response according to royal physicians. They wanted to hurt Mother. You hurt them first. That's killing. Marcus exchanged a glance with the Queen, who nodded slightly. Permission to speak honestly. Sometimes stopping bad people from doing bad things requires force. I didn't want to hurt anyone, but I wanted them to hurt you and your mother even less. So I made a choice. Was it hard? No. That's the scary part. Marcus's voice carried weight Zalara recognized. Combat veteran, despite his files saying otherwise. Choosing to protect you was the easiest thing I've ever done. Understanding what that means about me, about humans, about violence and protection, and all the complicated stuff in between, that's hard. That's what I'll think about for the rest of my life. Kiva processed this with the seriousness of a child learning adult truths. I'm glad you protected us. Me too. Will you stay? Mother assigns lots of guards, but they follow protocol. You don't. I follow different protocols, Marcus corrected gently. Human ones. And yes, if your mother approves, I'll stay. Queen Ashara stepped forward. The human stays. But Marcus, we need clarity. Are you military? Your files say no, but your actions say otherwise. I'm not active military, but all humans receive basic combat training. It's mandatory in most nations. We're a competitive species with a long history of conflict. Teaching everyone how to fight, and when not to, reduces violence overall. Sounds contradictory, but it works for us. Basic training. Zalara couldn't keep the skepticism from her voice. That was basic? On Earth? Yeah, we don't have natural weapons, Commander. We compensate with technique, strategy, and sheer bloody-minded determination. Every human child learns to defend themselves because our history taught us what happens when we don't. We remember the lessons. All of them. The Queen settled onto a resting platform, her massive form somehow graceful. Tell me about Earth.
The truth this time. Marcus looked at Kiva, still leaning against him.
You sure? Some of it's not pleasant. I almost died today, Kiva said with startling maturity. Pleasant is relative now. Fair point. Marcus took a breath. Earth is beautiful and terrible. We have storms that level cities, earthquakes that reshape coastlines, volcanoes that darken skies for years. We have tiny organisms invisible to the naked eye that caused plagues killing millions. We have large predators that still occasionally eat us. We have temperature extremes that kill in minutes, weather patterns that destroy in hours, and geological events that erase in seconds. And that's just the planet. We also spent most of our history fighting each other. Wars over resources, religion, territory, ideology. We built weapons that could destroy our entire species. We came terrifyingly close to using them. But you didn't, the Queen said. We didn't, because enough of us eventually decided survival mattered more than being right. We unified. Slowly, painfully, imperfectly, but we did it. And when we finally reached space, we found a galaxy full of species that had it easier than us. Better gravity, safer planets, fewer predators. And we realized something important. What? That we'd already survived the worst. Everything out here? Marcus gestured vaguely at the stars beyond the walls. It's a vacation compared to home. You have dangerous species, hostile environments, complex politics. We get it. We've been there. We've overcome worse with less. So yeah, we're not the strongest or the fastest or the smartest, but we're survivors. Champions of a death world that tried to kill us for millions of years and failed. And that makes us something you're not used to dealing with. Zalara felt her combat computer updating threat assessments in real time. Every human would need recategorization. Every interaction recontextualized. They weren't weak allies. They were apex predators from Hell's Garden, playing nice until circumstances required otherwise. You terrify me, Zalara said honestly. Good. Marcus met her eyes. You should be terrified, not of me specifically, but of what humanity represents. We're 300 cycles from stone tools to starships. We're unified for the first time in our history. We're learning your technology, your strategies, your weaknesses, and we're doing it all while pretending to be harmless because it's easier than dealing with the panic we'd cause if you understood what we actually are. And what are you? The Queen asked. Endurance hunters. Pursuit predators. We evolved chasing prey until it collapsed from exhaustion. We don't give up. Ever. We just keep coming, keep adapting, keep surviving. You can't outlast us. You can't wait us out. You can only ally with us or oppose us. And trust me when I say, Your Majesty, you really want to be allies. The room fell silent. Zalara's hand had unconsciously moved to her weapon, instinct response to threat declaration. But Marcus wasn't threatening.
He was explaining. The difference mattered.
The treaty passes, the Queen said finally. Full membership. And I'm recommending humanity for Security Council inclusion. That'll piss off the Vrexians, Marcus noted. Let it. They tried to assassinate me and my daughter. They underestimated humanity. That's 2 mistakes. They don't get a third. The Queen stood, her crest fully extended in challenge display. I'm old, Marcus. I've ruled for 60 cycles. I've seen empires rise and fall. I've fought wars and negotiated peace. And I've never in all that time seen something that genuinely changed the fundamental nature of galactic power. Until now. Until you. I'm just one person. You're a representative sample. If one human can do what you did today, what can a billion do? 10 billion? Humanity numbers in the tens of billions now, correct? Closer to 40 billion, actually. We breed fast. 40 billion apex predators from a death world. Zalara's combat computer crashed and rebooted. The math was impossible. The implications were staggering. Humanity wasn't a minor species joined the galactic community. They were a sleeping giant waking up and realizing they'd been stronger than everyone else the whole time. I need to report this to the council, Zalara said. No. The Queen's voice carried absolute authority. This information stays contained. Security classification highest level. If the council panics, if the other species realize what humanity actually is, we'll have chaos, wars, preemptive strikes, the very violence we're trying to prevent. But Your Majesty, Commander, think strategically. Humanity has been peaceful, cooperative, diplomatic. They've had the capability to threaten us for years and haven't. They're choosing to be allies. If we expose their true nature, we force them into defensive posture. We create the very threat we're afraid of. Better to let them integrate slowly, naturally. Let the galaxy learn to trust them before learning to fear them. Marcus nodded slowly. Smart. I appreciate that. Don't thank me yet. In exchange, I want complete transparency between our species. No more secrets. I need to know humanity's capabilities, limitations, and intentions. All of it. I'm a diplomat, not a general. Then I'll speak to someone who is. But this conversation happens soon, because I'm betting everything on humanity being what you claim, survivors who choose cooperation over conquest. If I'm wrong, if humanity decides to become predators instead of protectors, the galaxy won't survive. We'll tear ourselves apart fighting you, and even if we win, we'll be too damaged to rebuild. The weight of it settled over the room. Zalara understood the game now. The Queen was making a calculated gamble. Bind humanity to the Corvathan Empire through alliance and mutual interest. Give them power, prestige, and purpose that didn't involve conquest. Make cooperation more profitable than conflict. It was brilliant strategy. If it worked. If it failed, they'd armed their own executioners. I'll arrange the meeting, Marcus said quietly. But understand, Your Majesty, that humanity's government is complex. We have multiple nations, factions, ideologies. I can promise my government's cooperation. I can't promise all 40 billion humans will agree. No species is monolithic. I understand. The Queen moved toward the door. Kiva, you're staying with Marcus tonight. Royal decree? Commander Zalara will post guards outside. Yes, Mother. After the Queen left, Zalara organized the security detail. 20 guards, rotating shifts, full tactical gear. Overkill for protection detail, but after today's events, overkill was baseline. She found Marcus and Kiva playing a human game involving physical movement and laughter, bonding behavior crucial after trauma. The human was teaching the princess how to dodge, using slow, exaggerated movements that Kiva could actually follow. She needs rest, Zalara noted. She needs normalcy, Marcus countered. Sleep comes easier after play. Human children work the same way. You have children? Nieces and nephews. Lots of them. Big family. Marcus caught Kiva as she launched herself at him, spinning her in a movement that looked dangerous, but was obviously controlled. We're social creatures. Family matters to us. Which is why Kiva matters. She's under my protection now. That makes her family. Humans adopt outside their species. Humans adopt anything that needs protecting. We've domesticated hundreds of animal species. We keep pets that serve no practical purpose. We cry at fictional stories. We anthropomorphize inanimate objects. We're not rational about affection, Commander. We just love broadly and fight fiercely for what we love. It's who we are. Zalara watched them play, and something shifted in her understanding. Humans weren't trying to conquer the galaxy. They were trying to expand their family to include it. They wanted to protect it the way Marcus protected Kiva, not out of duty or protocol, but because that's what family did. It was utterly alien, completely illogical, and somehow more terrifying than any military threat, because armies could be fought.
Weapons could be countered.
But how did you fight a species that wanted to love you? That would die protecting you? That considered the entire galaxy worth saving? You couldn't. You could only accept it. Join it. Become part of something larger than individual species or empires. Become part of humanity's expanding definition of family. I understand now, Zalara said softly.
Understand what? Marcus asked, still playing with Kiva. Why you saved her?
Why you didn't hesitate? Why you'll keep protecting her regardless of politics or protocol or personal cost. Yeah? Why? 'Cause that's just what you do. It's not strategy or calculation, it's identity. You're human. Humans protect. Questioning it would be like questioning breathing. Marcus smiled. Now you're getting it, Commander. Welcome to understanding humanity. It's terrifying, isn't it? Absolutely. Good. That means you'll take us seriously, and that's all we've ever wanted. To be taken seriously as equals, not dismissed as primitives or feared as threats, just respected as people trying to survive and maybe make things a little better along the way. Kiva yawned, exhaustion finally overtaking adrenaline. Marcus settled her onto a sleeping platform, covering her with blankets. She trusts you completely, Zalara observed. I know. It's a responsibility I don't take lightly. If you betray that trust, I won't. And Commander, that's not a promise. That's a fact. Humans fail at a lot of things, but when we claim someone as ours, when we make that commitment, we don't break it. We can't. It's not in our nature. Zalara left him there, guarding the sleeping princess. Her combat computer ran final calculations, and the answer was clear. Humanity was the most dangerous species in the galaxy, not because of weapons or technology or physical capability, but because they fought with something no other species understood. Absolute, irrational, unbreakable commitment to whatever they decided to protect. You could kill a human, but you couldn't make them abandon what they loved. And if humanity decided to love the galaxy the way Marcus loved Kiva, nothing would ever be the same. The Deathworld had sent its children to the stars, and the stars would never be safe again. But maybe Zalara thought maybe they'd be something better, something protected, something loved by creatures who knew the value of survival because they'd fought for every moment of their existence. Maybe that was worth the terror. She hoped so, because humanity was here to stay and the galaxy had no choice but to adapt, just like humans always had.